What is up, ladies and gentlemen, YouTube? That's right. I'm Chris Smith, and today I'm talking about the Shannara Chronicles, Episode 3. Why I mean Episode 3? Because the premiere was 2 episodes in 1, so therefore this is Episode 3. Look it up, it's Episode 3, so let's talk about it. This thing pretty much picks up exactly where we left off, and I mean literally exactly where we left off. When they're about to be attacked by the demon, then Arnon, whatever, I forgot it was, he eventually saves Will and Armabel, and then he eventually gets wounded from the attack, and therefore Will and Armabel has to pretty much help this guy get to the Druid tunnels or caves or whatever, and pretty much get healed. And on their way to that, they get kind of captured by the Rovers and Atreya, you know, pretty much, and her crew, whatever. They kind of capture them, and then that's kind of where our plot is. I'm not going to spoil much because I know people haven't seen it, so therefore I'm going to respect them on that part. And let's talk about this thing right here. Some good things, some bad things. One, we got to see a bit more of the Rovers, because, you know, James Remar is playing Atreya's father, and we got to see a bit of the Rovers. We get some background on them to pretty much saying that, you know, they have a bit of a past with the elves. You know, they can't stand the elves, and the Rovers kind of seem like they're almost like gypsies, of course, you know, living day to day on an occasion on certain things. And I was like, okay, we're getting some background on them. I enjoy particularly the scenes between Atreya and her father, James Remar. James Remar is very cool to always watch and whatnot. And I really enjoyed their scenes particularly. I thought they were well done, and, you know, talking about how it's almost survival to live. You know, you gotta live for survival, whatever. I thought that was really well done. Also, some things I'm going to be kind of going around here because I don't want to spoil much, but another good thing is when Atreya's father gives Will this ultimatum, because he's bargaining Armabel's life, right? So he pretty much says, okay, you either work these stones or I kill the girl. And then he eventually doesn't do it because, you know, they get interrupted by this demon or whatever that kind of attacks him. And then Will eventually uses his power. Well, not he uses the powers, but he eventually works the stone's powers by accident. But I thought that was a very cool moment. I thought the special effects were well on point here for the most part. And killing the demon, I thought that was a pretty good scene. And, you know, and that was all well done. Now, some things that really also worked really well in this episode was that, you know, everything was an improvement. I thought I was going to be like, I don't know, this show's kind of okay, whatever. But this show was a very big improvement to the point where they were just like, okay, everything pretty much improved. John Rhys Davies, I said he was sleepwalking in another episode. He wasn't here. Mono Burnett manages to command presence without actually having to yell. Will went from bland to decent, and that's actually a step up. You're improving, kid. He's actually a lot more likable in here. Armabel and Atreya, they're great. They're also cool to watch. The pacing is also much more better in this episode. I think the problem was because it was 2 episodes and it was 2 hours, and that's kind of hard to hook people. But I think in this episode particularly, I think it was much more well paced out because, you know, mainly because it wasn't 2 episodes in 1. So I thought that was very well done. The special effects are also well. And another thing that I really liked is that it felt like a very, like an RPG. Like, I don't know if anybody's a gamer out there, but it felt like an old school fantasy RPG, you know, like The Witcher or Dragon Age, where you kind of get all these people on quests and, you know, they kind of join you or whatnot. It's specifically Dragon Age, because that's what Mono Burnett kind of reminds me of. You know, the Grey Warden's mentor in Dragon Age? That kind of what, I forgot his name. The one that dies early in the thing, but he kind of reminded me of that, and I enjoyed that. Now, some negatives that I really did not like, particularly in this episode, is that they find this guy, right? And he's like chained up in some kind of like S&M type of thing, and I'm just like, is there a Christian Grey in this like fantasy world of 4 lands? And I'm just like, where is he at? But eventually they find this guy, and then you know, Arlon tells Armabel that he can't get a read on this guy, and he may be dangerous to her and everyone around him. But particularly, she just says, freak it, you know, let's just bring him along. Let's bring him on a quest. Don't matter. I'm just like, come on. Think a little bit clearer, lady. You know, you got people threatening your life. Why don't you just kind of, you know, wonder what the hell is going on here? How about you know, put a little judgment on? But yeah, you know, that guy, he's okay. You know, it seems like he has a bit of flashbacks. His powers can, you know, see into the future, whatever. I thought that was okay, fine. Also, do we really need a love interest? Or not a love interest, but do we really need romance? Because they're trying to do the love triangle, and then they're trying to do Armabel and Will. And I'm just like, do we need one? Why can't they just be, you know, friends or fighters or whatever? But then I guess that's MTV, and that's also kind of my other negative where, you know, they have the scene at the water, and Will takes off his shirt, and they just kind of like keep him standing there for a while, and I'm just like, do we really need this, to take on the shirt thing? Like, if we do need it, then why not do it also for the women? Because I just be like, okay, that's MTV meddling in on the show. Don't alienate people by doing something that doesn't really work well. The show's good, but don't ruin it with that type of stuff. Particularly, that's kind of all I really had to say about it. But yeah, everybody pretty much improved. This was a much more better improvement. And now I feel like if the show kind of continues on this pace, it's not slow, it's actually fast. It's not too much action, but that works in this episode because they worked on the pacing, and I enjoyed that. But that is my review. Trust me, I think it's a lot more better. If you didn't like the first episode, I think this one will probably help you better, in my opinion. But yes, that's my review. Comment, subscribe, like. I'm Chris Smith. I'm signing out.